are you?
I'm great. Great to see you.
Thanks for being here. Can't wait to chat a little bit. We're going to walk and we'll talk about design, talk about you.
That sounds great. I've been waiting to come to ASU, so I
Here you
guess today's the day.
Okay, let's go. So Julie, welcome to ASU.
Thank you.
You have just most recently left leading the largest design association in the world, perhaps, in the country?
In the country, for sure.
In the country, AIGA. We'll talk a little bit about that, but I may just start by this word design has become a really popular term in sort of common language. Everybody's talking about design, design, design. So, like, what is a designer? I mean, we obviously have disciplines, but how do you describe what a designer
Yeah, well, it's a great question, and I think that a designer is inherently a problem solver, but the difference between a designer who's a problem solver and, let's say, a mathematician or a policy person is that a designer can bring a new idea to life, either visually or through sound, and make it real in a way that people can experience it.
Some people place good design in contrast to profit, in the sense that why spend the extra money on what they might call design flourishes when we can just deliver something cheaper? Design costs money.
Yeah.
Is it worth the cost?
Well, of course it does cost money, but so does everything else. So do your computers, right? And what that kind of thinking doesn't recognize is that everything, ASU, the city of Arizona, is an enterprise. And design is not about visual flourishes and aesthetics. Design is actually about the way things work. Mm-hmm. It's about the experience. And just try to return something. Buy something and try to return it. Or buy something and try to ship it. And is it easy? Is it difficult? Right. That kind of is the benchmark.
So let me just say, AIGA, mm-hmm. which thousands of design professionals all over the country who have access to professional development, have access to
community,
which is important.
Very important.
It also was sort of driving campaigns, sort of social impact campaigns. And so I wonder if you could tell me about a design campaign that you thought was particularly powerful.
We did a Get Out the Vote campaign during the presidential elections, but a lot of the people with the design posters were not satisfied with keeping them at the poster level. And one of those designers, a wonderful designer named Agustin Garza, took a photograph of Edward James Olmos, the actor, for his poster, and they stood back and looked at it together, and both of them said, wow, it feels like it's moving. And they got the idea to take the poster to the Spanish television stations. All four Spanish-speaking television networks created a couple of PSAs. And Edward James Olmos, in a nonpartisan way, spoke to hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people all over the country through this campaign that would have never happened had we not started with the visual messaging. Yeah,
and just to think about getting out to vote is a design challenge.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I mean, AIGA, way before I got there, had a strategic initiative called Design for Democracy, because after the Florida elections with the ballot box, sort of mishap, a couple of really powerful interaction designers got involved and started working on ballot design. So you're right, every aspect of our democracy has a design component, and as a guy who knows a lot about policy in cities, I know you know this, but there are now more designers working in city government. Bloomberg has funded a lot of this. There are some wonderful conferences in DC where the hundreds and hundreds of designers who work at the State Department and the Postal Service come together and talk about making processes better for citizens. So it's a great example of, design is everywhere.
So as you think about the future and your talents and imagination and design, how do you want to use your creativity now to change the world?
Well, first of all, I look at you and Jason Shupak and what's going on here at ASU as a wonderful model of people who think that they can bring design at an enterprise level to a major institution. And it's very much what I want to be doing. I want to impact people who run enterprises and get them to frankly, invest more, care more, do more design. The other enterprise that I would like to affect is our communities, and I would like to see a lot more, I'm not alone in this, a lot more design and art education in underserved communities. I think that is a big answer to all kinds of problems in the country, because we started with what is design. I think at the end of the day, design is agency. It's a form of power. It says I can create a chair, an ad, a new way to work. So I'd like to see more of that seeded earlier in our culture.
And how do we do that?
One of the things that Meredith Davis, who we both know, told me that shocked me is that very little research has been done about the impact of design in K through 12. So we definitely need some research and some metrics. I would love to see a national database of all of the people who are already doing it, and then maybe could filter everywhere.
Yep, that's an exciting vision. I think you can make it happen.
Well, I'd like some help on that.
Julie, thank you for taking time.
It's great to be here.
Can't wait to collaborate.
Thank you.